I first moved to Karachi at the beginning of 10th grade. I didn't know very much about the Karachi educational scene. So I first heard about Nixor when my seniors were applying to their A-level institutions, and it was a very daunting thing for me because I was never in the Cambridge system. I was in Canada, and it's a completely different system, and this whole process of actually applying to A-level schools just seemed completely foreign to me. So the reputation of institutions didn't really come into play. When I heard about Nixor, there was just something about it that seemed different because what I really didn't like about some of the educational systems here was that they seemed to focus a lot on letter grades. You have to get A's, you have to get A's, and that's the most important thing. If you want to get anything on your application, any ECAs, it's just so that, you get a good college transcript. But when I went on Nixor's website after I first heard about it and I was about to apply to my A-level schools, there was just something that set it apart, and that was some balance. That yes, you do need to get grades. That's obviously very, very important. But it's not about getting into a good university. It's about doing the right thing. And when you first hear it, it sounds very cliche. But when you come into Nixor, like when I came into Nixor, everything that seemed cliche, do the right thing, core values, unconditional respect, it kind of starts to make sense to you. Because there's just something about being in this community that you have to give it your all. And you can't function here, you can't do anything half-heartedly because then you're not going to succeed. Anything you do, you need to put everything on a line. This is something I learned. And you need to make tough choices because, like I said, it's the balance between your academics and your extracurriculars. An example of a tough choice I had to make was I started up a corporate entity called Legal. I think it was here in previous years, but it didn't work out so well. But I've always been very passionate about education. And Taaleem Sabkali is that NGO here, and I wanted to work for it. But I was also part of public speaking. And I have 5 subjects that I'm taking right now. So I kind of had to make that difficult choice that, okay, this is something I've wanted to do, but I'm also very passionate about legal. And I also have public speaking, which I can't leave, and I have my academics. So I had to make the extremely tough decision to choose not to go into Taaleem Sabkali. And while I can still volunteer, it was something that actually really bothered me because it's something that I wanted to do. But now that I look back at it, it's that thing about giving your all. Like if I had joined it, I wouldn't have been able to put everything online for it. It wouldn't have been fair to the entity. It wouldn't have been fair to the kids there because I wouldn't have been all there for them. So everything you're a part of, you just have to completely immerse yourself into it. Public speaking is one thing that has taught me so much. I went to Rotman. I'm on the Lumen team right now. And that's just something that completely takes over your life. But the experience is insane. I will never forget the Rotman experience. It's just, learning how to work with people and just learning basic diplomacy. And the thing about speaking skills is it's something that's going to help you for the rest of your life, no matter where you are, no matter what you do. The way you communicate is your most important tool because work is one thing. Right? But there's no point in that work if people don't know about that work, if people don't know what you're doing. Even if you do the right thing, like what's the point if you can't tell people this is what the right thing is, this is how we do it, this is how we carry it forward. So that's one thing that I think is really important. I think Nixor does place a lot of importance, not even in public speaking, but even when you take subjects themselves in academics, the teachers they go beyond the course material and tell you how you can actually sort of apply it in everyday life. So I think that it's kind of hard to explain in general. I sort of went all over the map over here talking about everything. I went from public speaking to corporate to my experience applying, but I think that's kind of what Nixor is. It kind of encapsulates everything. And there's just something extra about it that you kind of have to be here to get. Like everything that seems cliche and everything that seems, kind of annoying outside, once you join here, you sort of all of that melts away. And this becomes sort of the center, sort of the focus of your life. I call Nixor my home away from home. My parents always say, Nadeem Ghani probably sees you more than we see you. And it's true, but at the end of the day, it's all worth it because the experience, and this is going to sound so cliche, you probably heard everyone, but the experience you get out of Nixor, the things that you learn, that you keep learning. Because I've only been here for a few months, and I can tell you that I have changed so much as a person. I never imagined that. I never imagined at a school. I've never been much of a school spirit kind of person. But I am very passionate about Nixor. And all the students here are passionate about Nixor. Even if they don't show it, they show it in their actions. They might not say it, but they will show it. And I think that's something that really sets Nixor apart, is that we do things. We get stuff done. We don't just talk about it. We don't just bring letter grades. We bring smiles to orphans' faces because it's the right thing to do. Not the person who started adopting an orphanage didn't do it because he wanted to apply to Cambridge. He did it at the end of the day to see the smile on those children's faces. It's the same with Taaleem Sabqi. It's the same with any corporate entity. And that is what sets Nixor apart, is that, again, we don't focus on the bottom line. We focus on the right thing. And that's basically that. There's no other way to describe Nixor. It's about doing the right thing. It's about balance. It's about putting everything on the line for what you believe in.